Alright, it's time for the testing, and it's been a real bit of a game for the last couple of hours. Having switched it on with the box completely opened up, there was loads and loads of hum, and then I found that when I moved the amplifier the hum would go up and down. That's not a good sign, because the power supply into the amp isn't grounded and whatever, you know. So anyway, I messed around a bit and I got the hum to pretty well disappear purely on the location of the amp. So I thought, well, I better box it all up and shield it. And I think the hum has now disappeared, which is good, because that's what I tore all this apart to cure in the first, or improve in the first place. And it was 10 times worse. And now the amp is off and I'm getting sort of intermittent, really sharp, spiky noise from somewhere. You know, this is typical, you know. If this was in Britain, it wouldn't be a problem because all this stuff will be grounded. But, well, hell, where this amp is going to live, the house isn't grounded. So, you know, do me a favour. So, anyway, here we are. That's the bass, and that's kind of the bass level of high frequency noise. You can see there is no hum. Let me just switch on the amp and let's see what we get. Now this phone should be feeding in tone, but it might not be because I'm on, you see it's nice and quiet there. And there is the tone. 2 channels. If I alter the balance, you can see like that, and yeah, okay, that way and that way. So that's working fine, and it looks like a reasonably clean signal, and there is no hum. If I turn that down, it goes really very quiet. So that's good. So the next thing to do is just to recheck the paths, and I've also got the headphones plugged in and the headphone amp is working. That's fine. So now it's just checking the paths through it again, and let's hope it's all okay. So I've got this amp switched on now, and I've got a completely disconnected input, and the volume is wound up full, and we can see that on the trace here I'm getting about 2.5 millivolts of noise, all of which you can see when the amp is switched off. So this is just background noise. I'll compare it here to what I measured before I stripped the amp apart. So that's a terminated input, and it looks like I'm getting about 1.3 millivolts of sort of 60 cycles and about 6 millivolts of noise spikes from somewhere. And so that's a datum. We'll see, we'll have to see why that might be. And also looking for hum. Can't see any hum now. This is what the peak to peak, this is the time peak to peak for 60 Hertz, and there's just nothing there. So that is clean, so that is a good thing. So now I've got 1 kilohertz from this telephone. This phone is my audio tone source. Very nice app on the app shop, and you can still see we've got that very low bass level of high frequency noise, absolutely no hum. And if I turn the volume up, I can hear it in the so there is the 1 kilohertz, and there is some background HF noise that I can hear. And you know, I don't know if it's the amp or not, so let's just turn that down and switch that off. And well, the amp is perfectly quiet, so I'll have to investigate that, but that path is working. Alrighty, I've been through the paths and they seem to work. There's a little bit of residual kind of, you won't be able to hear it, but there's a little residual kind of HF noise which you can actually see on the scope, but it seems to be that this input lead is acting like an antenna. I mean, if I unplug it, put the volume right up on the headphones, it's just perfectly quiet, and can't hear any hum. That's the good thing. Hum is cured. Low frequency noise is very high frequency noise is very small. It seems to be that this is just acting like an antenna around here, and this is as good as I can get. When this is back in Thailand, it will certainly be fed through an isolation transformer, IKI, a full wave inverter. There are no grounds in Thai houses, so well, I'll have to work on that, but it seems as though the job is done here, so this can now be packed up, and the next time you'll see it, it'll be in the box with the lid ready to close. So this is end of play for today. Bye bye. So now it's time for packing up. So take all the knobs off, got to take the front panel off. Oh, these are on tight. All the little fiber washers are already off. They go behind the knobs. Now we got to take the front panel off. First, the two top screws. This was amazing for me. It took me the best part of 2 hours to figure out how this front panel came off, you know, and really it's dead easy. Top two screws off. The big thing is getting the screws back in the same holes. So once the panel is off, I'm gonna put the screws back in the holes for transit. Two side screws on each side. Other side. And the bottom. Flat-headed screws at the front. The black ones go to the edge. You notice I'm commentating on this, so I put them back in the right place first time. The silver ones in the middle. These are the really short ones. And the three little crossheads. Oh, you don't need to take out the three little crossheads at the back because the bottom is staying on. So, now, the front panel should come off. Ta-da! One remove front panel. Now this will be separately packed in bubble wrap with a cardboard face on it, and that goes in my cabin baggage, because this, as I said, this is like a big iPhone screen. It's insanely easy to ruin it, so this cannot go in the cargo hold. So put the screws back in. So that's the power plug. Pack that up, stop anyone from plugging it in at the other end, because I need to generate my own 120 volt 60 hertz electricity to power these puppies. Well, there it is, packed and ready to go. I'm lucky I had enough packing material to finish the job without having to go and buy some more, so that's good news. So let's just put the last little bit in. Okay, there we are. And now, will the lid shut? You can have too much packing material, you know. Let's see. So there we are, job done, packed up, ready to go. I hope I don't have to see it again until I'm in Phuket. So that's the C28 refurbishment over and done with, over and out. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.